Should be a fast hiccup. There we go. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to go check over on the YouTube and make sure that everybody is there. There we go. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to go check over on the YouTube and make sure that everybody is there. And let me mute this. There's YouTube. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to go check over on the YouTube and make sure that everybody is there. And let me mute this. Seriously, why can't I mute this? This is ridiculous. There's YouTube. And let me mute this. Seriously, why can't I mute this? This is ridiculous. There's YouTube. And let me mute this. Seriously, why can't I mute this? This is ridiculous. There's YouTube. Where's that coming from? Oh, that's why. All right, guys, we're going to be starting here in just a second. Justin is coming in. There he is. Hang on. All right, guys.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, everybody. Whoops, that's not right. Speaker view. There you are. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of CTA Live. This is our live recording. We are CTA Live. I keep doing that. Holy mackerel. This is embarrassing. Say hi to everybody, Justin. Are you hearing me, Justin? Justin. Dang it. Let's see. Is it still... No, that should be it.
If you're talking on the thing, I don't hear you on Zoom. I can hear you on the live stream, but I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
That's weird. The after the reboot, the order of my USB devices swapped. The two audio things. That's why you couldn't hear me. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Wow, what the heck is going on? Why are our frames dropping? We're not dropping frames, but our CPU is like getting hammered. What the heck? Let me check a couple things here. It's like our frame rate is like 6. This is not good.
All right. While you're working on that, looks like it's gotten better on Facebook.
Good. But the golly, man, the frame rate. What the heck is going on? Is our
No, it's gotten better, but yeah, it's not perfect.
No, it's not, which means the recording is going to be horrible. Hang on just a second. Say hi to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And hope everyone's having a great day. Dave is going to try to figure out this frame rate stuff. I don't know where he's going. Let's speculate on where he might be going. I have a feeling. Chris says, do over. we're gonna see. I don't know. We try not to start new live streams, because then people get notified more than once, and of course, if you ding someone more than once, they get notification fatigue. So we try to just keep it on one stream. So while Dave is working on that and trying to figure that out, you can see him moving around in the background. Just want to say we appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys hopping in here. Thankfully, this is towards the beginning while people are coming on. And we do the show on Fridays. It is the live recording. This is the raw recording. Basically, we are recording our show, the segments of our show, and we decide to broadcast it out live. That way you can join in the conversation, put your 2 cents in there, ask questions, and then we'll, kind of reiterate or repeat what you're saying in the comments for the live show. That way we can see all angles in case there's something Dave or I miss. You guys can leave your comments and questions, and kind of like a TV show would record a live studio audience. Dave, how are we looking?
Confused.
Yeah, still a little choppy.
4 frames a second. Trying to see. I mean, I'm just gonna. What? It's a fresh reboot too. Why? Golly, man. What is it that's doing that?
Do you use a separate profile when you go live, or do you use the normal one you always use?
I have one that I use. I have one profile that is set up with everything. The only thing that's been, I mean, since last week, I upgraded to High Sierra, and I've got my Stream Deck, and I just shut that down just to see if that had anything to do with it. Oh man, still 5 frames a second. Sorry you guys have to see this. I'm not sure what the deal is. I recorded stuff earlier this week. I mean, it was screaming.
Yeah, I would put money on something's going on during the reboot, or after the reboot, something kicked on.
No, everything, I mean, there's no updates going on.
We'll just do some live troubleshooting. If you go in your activity monitor, is there anything eating up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go check. Hang on. I'm quitting like directory services and stuff real quick, just to, like OneDrive and Google Sync and stuff. None of that is doing anything though. Nothing is sending and receiving in the background.
Yeah, my Zoom takes up a lot of CPU time.
Yeah, but the CPU is at 17.4%. It is literally the frames per second, which doesn't make sense. And I'm not recording it. I'm only streaming. And I see you coming in nice and clearly. My down speed is well over 150.
Jordan wants to know, is it time to move back to the studio?
Has nothing to do with it.
There you go, Jordan. Nothing to do with it.
22 megs up speed, so it's not a... What? Well... Man, this is kooky. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a card in my camera here, and I'm going to record on the camera.
And while Dave is doing that, we are talking about Facebook today. We talked about Facebook a couple weeks ago, and this is kind of we didn't set out for this, but to me, this is kind of like almost a part two, where we talked about in part one, we talked about you don't control Facebook. Facebook basically has total control of your content, whether or not people see it or not, and then at the same time, like literally the day after we published last week's show, we had an interview. We got an interview. This was scheduled months in advance. We had an interview with an actual representative from Facebook. So that's our interview today. And so to me, this is kind of like a part two almost, or maybe a follow-up, definitely not like a correction or a rebuttal or anything, because again, we were talking with our interviewee. We've been talking for months, since I think last November, trying to get something scheduled.
Yep.
And so it kind of worked out that we had our show on the real reason you can't rely on Facebook. And then now a couple weeks later, we have an interview with someone from Facebook on how you should use Facebook. So I am really excited. So if you have any questions, now is definitely the time to put your questions down below in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. And, ask what's your biggest question or concern with Facebook, because I think there's still some people that are using it the wrong way. And Nona, our interviewee today, is going to kind of set the record straight. And so that's why we're calling today's little live show how to effectively use Facebook in 2018 and beyond, because the mission of Facebook has changed, and the way we should be using Facebook has changed as well. And we're still, we're churches, we're slow adopters, but this is really going to set the record straight on how Facebook itself, how a representative from Facebook speaks on how we should be using Facebook. It's good stuff. So
all
we
right.
got questions, we've got answers. Leave them below.
Hopefully they match. All right, so we're going to get started. I want to apologize first off for the bad frame rate. I seriously have no idea what's going on. I did recordings and stuff earlier this week, and the frame rate was great. Everything was going out real smooth. I don't know if it is... this is a fresh reboot, so I'm literally at my wit's end. I do not know, because prior to this, it was screaming at 30 frames a second without an issue. So anyway, such is life. I'm recording this on my camera, and also, let's see, one little adjustment. And I'm also recording it. I'm recording Justin and stuff, so I'm going to have one heck of an edit job, but it's going to work. It's all going to work. Everything's going to sync up beautifully. All right. So, guys, we're going to get started. All right. The only thing I really have to... All right. Is your church using... Okay, I'm going to start, by the way. Sorry.
Sure.
Sorry. Is your church maximizing Facebook? Are you guys using your pages? Are you guys using groups? If not, we're going to talk about why you should, and I'll start now. All right. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Church Media Guys Show. My name is Dave Curley, and if we've not met before, I'm the founder of ChurchTrainingAcademy.com, which is a place where you and I come to learn how to use and exploit media and technology so that we can maximize our ministries and take the gospel to the world. With me, as usual, I couldn't do this without him. I couldn't do a whole lot of stuff without him, is my co-host, my friend, my partner in crime, Justin Nava. Hello, sir.
What's going on, Dave? What's going on, everyone watching? And I'm excited to say, what's going on, Rian? I'm going to guess that's how you say their name, Rian. Just commented on YouTube. They are watching from South Africa.
Sweet.
So what's going on? If I may be a little nerdy here. Hello, world.
Yes.
It's me, Justin and Dave. And Dave, by the way, for the live show people watching, may the 4th be with you.
Oh, may the 4th be with you guys as well. Yes, we are recording this on May 4th, which is Star Wars Day. And if you don't know what that means, then shame on you. What's wrong with you? You dead inside? Who hurt you? Why would you not know this? Why didn't
it stick?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you know this? My gosh.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
But yes, we are a couple nerds here, and I don't. I actually, I feel I guess we complement each other because I checked my box of collectibles. I have nothing Star Wars. Everything I have collectible for my shelf and everything. When you go to my wide shot, is Marvel. So I look for something Star Wars. I just don't have anything. I just invest in Marvel. So I have nothing for today.
Hmm.
Uh, but I do have this sweet new Infinity War Thanos behind me, so I'm pretty excited
Yes.
for that.
Yes, I like that. But that's not today. So that's sad. And I'm taking away your nerd card. I think that, isn't that what you said you were going to do?
I said if you don't have Star Wars playing on your iPad in the background, I'm taking away your nerd card.
Yes, I do. And can you tell what Star Wars I have playing?
Uh, let's see here. No, I'm trying to see. It's a little too small for me to see. I thought I saw. Oh, it's the Last Jedi.
Yes, that's Laura Dern there. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, I saw Laura Dern. You can recognize her from 60 feet out, and
Yeah.
so maybe
Yep.
more than 60 feet's not a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. She's last time I saw her, she was hugging a downed Triceratops.
All right.
All right. So we are going to do our our pro tip now. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm trying to keep things minimalized here to keep my frame rate down or keep my frame rate up. Okay. So our pro tip.
Pro tip.
Pro tip. Pro tip. Okay, this is our pro tip. Our pro tip for our pro tip today is a relatively simple one, but it's also packed with a whole lot of power behind it. And it's simply this: Facebook groups. I've talked about Facebook groups on the show before. I actually did a show where I talked about two big things that Facebook was doing. This was late last year. Facebook was rolling out Watch, which is their video platform, very YouTube-ish. And then I also talked about Facebook groups, and we talked about how you could use Facebook groups with your churches. A lot of people aren't doing that yet, and that's okay. If you're not, I want to encourage you guys to do that. Facebook groups is really, really, really powerful. You have the ability to, this may sound negative, you have the ability to control who's in there, okay? And what that gives you is a lot of power for communicating. You can have a Facebook group for, just your ministerial staff if you want, or for a given ministry. The youth group can have one. The church itself can have one. That's a private Facebook group, and that's a great place for you to communicate, for you to give the promotional information, for you to have the sign up. Be sure to register for camp, stuff like that. Things that that the membership needs to see, but that new visitors or people searching around on Facebook for a church don't necessarily need to be concerned with. It's just noise for them. So Facebook groups, if you're not using Facebook groups yet, Justin and I both highly recommend that you look into doing that. In fact, we're going to put together a little how-to on how to set up a group and some best practices and things like that. Justin, didn't you guys recently set up a group at your church?
Yes, and I am very excited to share some of our resources. I think we're gonna do a little bit more than just a tutorial. I think I'm gonna share also kind of the strategy one page that I created for our Facebook group, and I'm also gonna share our group description that people can just swipe and copy because we have found enormous success. My goal with our group is to post once a day in the group, either as a church or as myself.
Mm-hmm.
All week this week. This is only our third week in existence. I have not had to post a thing because our members are actually using it. We had people share an announcement for the church, a Wednesday night class that we're doing. We had someone share unfortunately, a death notice for that related to a family in our church. And then we had someone share just like, hey, this convicted me. This was compelling to me. This is something that I grew in this. I hope it grows you too, kind of thing. So it's been amazing that I literally put this group together, and I expected to, eat up another 5, 10, 15 minutes a day trying to keep it active. And at not even 3 weeks later, it's already taken off. So I am super excited to share this, and you're going to kind of do the setup, and I'm just going to kind of come alongside. And for this pro tip that we're going to put out on our website, I'm going to kind of supplement that with some of the strategic things that we've done. And this is, we're going to talk more about this in the main content, but this is where Facebook is heading. And this is one that I don't say this lightly, and I hate it when people overuse this. This is one you're going to need to pay attention to, this pro tip.
Yeah, you really do. Things are changing. If you don't pay attention to this, then you are going to be cutting out a gigantic portion of the ministry field for you. And if you're ready to do that, if you're ready to basically say, no, we're not going to minister to, a quarter of the planet's population, then okay, that's fine. Have fun with that.
Yeah, our interviewee today has some very strong words about that.
Yeah, she really does. And it's neat because it opens your eyes. And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about this interview. Speaking of Facebook groups, guys, by the way, if you guys don't know, Justin and I have put together a private Facebook group. It's private, but we kind of let anybody in. So don't tell anybody, but tell everybody, okay? It's called Church Media Hacks. Guys, all the stuff that we're doing, that we're learning, the things that Justin and I have figured out over the years, the things that other people have taught us, and the stuff that we've taught other people, we want to share that with y'all. We want to share it in our Church Media Hacks group. So we put this little group together. So if you're in ministry, if you're in church ministry, if you are in a creative, if you're a marketer for the church, if you're doing promotion, I don't care what you know. If you're the secretary and you're tasked with sending out emails, doesn't matter. Come join the Church Media Hacks group. Just go to churchmediahacks.com. It is a private group, so you are going to have to request to join. We got a question or two. We want to get a little bit of insight from you about how we can help you. And then we're going to let you guys in, and we want to share stuff with you, and we want you guys to share stuff with us. Things that you guys figure out. Did you figure out a really effective way to promote youth camp? And we did it using this strategy and this strategy together, two things that we never thought of. I mean, if it's something like that, please share it with us, detail it, show us how it works, show us befores and afters and all that kind of stuff. We just want to know what's going on and what's working. And we want you to share that with the class. So be prepared to learn and be prepared to teach. That's what we're looking for. So churchmediahacks.com, we would love for you guys to come and hang out with us in there. Okay, and so now it's time for our feature presentation. Dun, 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 dun. You ready?
Yeah, I like that little that reminds me of the Terminator. Da, 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 da.
Chun, 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 chun. Okay.
I'll be back with your featured presentation.
Get to the chopper. Okay.
That had a little bit of Yoda in it.
Oh, yeah. To the chopper you will get. Run, you will. Run.
And that's the intro.
Down you will get. Down. Yoda Schwarzenegger.
If you want to come with me, you will come. Or wait, I messed that up. Darn it.
Come with me, you will live.
If you want. That's
live
a hard
if you
one.
want.
Someone figure that out in the chat. How would Yoda say, come with me if you want to live?
Want to live, you do? With me, you will come.
There you go. All right.
Oh, yeah. It's May the 4th, guys. May the 4th be with y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're going to play a little excerpt from our interview with Nora Jones. I'm sorry, not Nora Jones, Nona Jones. Nona is really cool. She works for Facebook. She is she's our man on the inside, as it were. She's got the pulse of both ministries and churches. I mean, her and her husband, her husband's a pastor of a church. So she's right in here with you and I. And the benefit is that she knows and speaks like we do, but she works for Facebook. So she's able to give Facebook insights about the tools and the things that we need. And this is just a wealth of information. You guys are going to get something great out of this 10 minutes that we're going to play for y'all. You guys are going to get an education, have your eyes opened greatly when you see the whole thing coming out on the podcast. So here is our interview with Nona Jones.
And now for our feature presentation.
I am interviewing today Nona Jones, who leads faith-based partnerships for Facebook, the world's leading social networking and social media company. In her role, Nona is responsible for helping develop and drive the product strategy undergirding Facebook's mission of giving its 2 billion members the power to build community and bring the world closer together. She's been profiled by Essence Magazine as a under 40 woman to watch, and Florida Trend Magazine as one of Florida's 30-something all-stars. A sought-after public speaker, she has delivered keynote addresses for the United Nations and Attorney General Loretta Lynch. In addition to Nona's professional and civic work, she and her husband, Pastor Timothy Jones Sr., lead Open Door Ministries in Gainesville, Florida. And you can follow Nona on Facebook and Instagram at her handle, I am Nona Jones. But for now, I got her right in front of me. Nona, how are you today?
I am great, Justin. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I hope I pronounced everything correctly in there. Nona, and for everyone listening, start a little clicker or a little tip jar here, because I'm going to call Nona Nora so many times in this interview. And for every time I do that, put $1 aside. Let's donate it to charity.
Don't feel bad about it. Like, my maiden name is Collins, and no one ever messed up my name until I got married and it became Jones. And then suddenly it was Nora Jones all over the place. And I really wish I was her. I wish I had her bank account, but I in fact do not. So
tell me about this position you have at Facebook.
Well, first, I got to say, I appreciate the invitation to join you today. I have so much respect for what you're doing and really trying to equip the church to leverage social media and technology in new and better ways. So I never worked in technology. This is my first time working for a tech company. I previously was an executive for a large nonprofit in Florida, really loved what I was doing. But around April of last year, I just started to sense that there was something new and different that I needed to be doing, didn't know what that was. And so just kind of prayed about it. And I was like, all right, what's next? And had no idea, but literally God said to, submit my letter of resignation on June 30th from that job. And so, this was in April. So I only had a few months to do it. But I did that, and I met with my boss, 1:00, June 30th. I tell the story all the time because I think it's so important for people to understand. Finished talking with her at like 1:40, got in my car, was driving home, and at 2:05, I got a call from Facebook, just like out of the blue. Hadn't, applied for a job or anything, but essentially what I was told at the time was, Mark had just changed the mission of the company. For at least 10 years, the mission was make the world more open and connected, try to help family and friends connect with each other. But when we crossed the 2 billion user threshold, like last February, I think he realized that we had an incredible opportunity to do something really meaningful with that, because you got a quarter of the Earth's population on your platform. And so he changed the mission to really be about community building. And so the mission now is give people the power to build community. And I help to lead the work around communities of faith, which is really exciting because, as you said at the beginning, my husband and I, we have a church. This is work that we do in real life. So this isn't just a job for me. And I really help the company think about what do we need to be building for communities of faith to use our platform to have deeper connections with each other. So it's such a privilege to do this work, and certainly for the company.
That's amazing. So are you actually one of the consultants in Facebook that says, hey, we have this product coming out, we have this service coming out as part of the platform, and you say, this is what our people really need out of the product, or this is kind of the feature that we need? Is that kind of your role basically?
So yeah, like I get to work bi-directionally. So I essentially work with our product team because, as you can imagine, we already have, products in development. I get to, learn more about that and then think about, how can those products be best leveraged in a faith-based context. And then on the kind of, flip side of that, I get to talk to our product team relative to, what is it that communities of faith need us to build in order to make their experience on our platform truly meaningful. And so I get to work across, both lanes, which is really, really fun. And then, I get to work with organizations to help us test the different things that we're thinking about to make sure that it's relevant and that it's going to achieve the intended outcome for the design.
Well, that is fantastic. Sounds like a really good job to have. And we talked about this in the pre-show. You're not at Facebook HQ. Where are you for the people watching the video?
Yeah. So one of the the wonderful things about working for Facebook and in the role that I have is when they called me about the opportunity, my job is actually based at our headquarters in California. But I told them, as wonderful as the opportunity is, I literally couldn't move because my husband is a pastor. We have a church in Gainesville, Florida. And so today I'm actually, working from home in Gainesville, Florida. I leave tomorrow to go to California. I am constantly traveling, but just really appreciate the accommodation that I was given in order to do this work, because I love what I do, and being able to do it while continuing to have this home base was really important to me.
Well, that's fantastic. So, as the faith being leading the faith-based partnership for Facebook, I didn't want to kind of just hold us to one topic, one small tiny detail. So I kind of curated some questions that we commonly hear across our own Facebook groups, across people that reply to our emails, people inside our membership. And I kind of just picked 3 questions that we keep seeing over and over again. And so I'm going to ask Nona these questions and just kind of get a feel of from the horse's mouth, how can churches better use Facebook and the platform of Facebook to accomplish our church's mission? So Nona, my first question is, how can churches best use Facebook to stay connected with their congregations and their community?
So I love that question, and I'm going to take it up about 30,000 feet. And I'm going to kind of take my Facebook hat off for a minute and just put my ministry hat on. When you think about the mission of the church, right? You think about Matthew 28:19, where Jesus really gave the commission. He said, "Go and make disciples of all nations." I think one of the challenges that I see within the church is that we have kind of lost sight of that bigger, broader mission of making disciples of all nations. And we've gotten really focused on building attendance in the building on the weekend. And, I think that's important. And certainly that's something that you can measure. But that's not the entirety of the mission of the church, right? The mission of the church was actually to go into the world and make disciples. And the reason why I want to start there is I think there are a few important statistics that I want to give. One in particular is that we know that 65% of churches are either declining or plateauing in their attendance. We also know from Gallup did a poll to find out, how many people are actually in church on any given Sunday. What they found was 40% of Americans will say that they're in church on any given Sunday, but actual attendance is closer to 20%. So half of the people that say they're in the building are not there. But then there's another statistic that I think is super relevant, which is every month on Google, there are at least 30,000 searches using the keyword phrase church online. So you have people who, 1, aren't showing up to the building, but 2, they're actively searching for an online church experience. And you marry those 2 data points with the fact, again, that what the church has been called to do is go and make disciples. And again, it's not about, hey, stand and, wait for people to come into the building. It's about being intentional and proactive. And so what I feel that Facebook allows churches to do, and now I'm kind of putting my Facebook hat back on, what I think that Facebook allows churches to do is it allows churches to think differently about how to do ministry in the 21st century. You literally have a platform with 1/4 of the Earth's population on it. You have your members or your attenders are already there. I know of many churches that have been contemplating, having a standalone app created to try to connect people within their churches. But one of the biggest hurdles for new technology is adoption. And so what you really want to think about is, where are the people now? And then how do you leverage that place that they're at now in order to make connections? And that's where Facebook is. And so the product that I'm really anchoring heavily on is Facebook groups, because even though like every church would have a page, your page, and this is one of the questions that comes up all the time, your page is really kind of your megaphone. It's basically for just broadcasting content out. I believe that churches can make deeper connections by leveraging Facebook groups, because, when you think about your Facebook presence, I like to use this analogy. Think of it like it's a house, okay? Your page is like your front porch. That's where people can just kind of come, they can take you in, see what you're about on the surface. But your group is like your living room or your kitchen. It's the place where people can come and you can get to know each other and have deeper conversations, and you really get a sense of who a person is. But the reason why that's important is because when we look across our inventory of groups, there's about 200 million Facebook groups across all manner of topics, but like 0% of those groups are connected to institutions of faith. That's why the work that I'm doing is literally trying to drive the adoption of Facebook groups as an intentional and strategic tool for ministry to connect your congregation as well as people who aren't necessarily going to come to your building. I mean, in our church, we use a Facebook group, and we have people in our group who aren't even in our state, but they just want to be connected to what we're doing, and have conversations about their faith. So yeah, I would say that, using groups as an intentional ministry tool just a great way to begin shifting the paradigm from church as building to church as community.
Well, shifting the group from church as building, or shifting the paradigm from church as building to church as community. Isn't that one of the things that we talk about a lot here?
I've never heard that before. I'm pretty sure I read in my quiet time this morning that the church is a building. I think Jesus said, "Go therefore and build 4 walls."
Yes.
And let's keep everything there.
Yes.
Please address all angry emails to dave@churchtrainingacademy.com.
But that's kind of one of our core principles here that we teach. You go over that so thoroughly and deeply when you're talking about websites and an online presence. You may have a gorgeous building, but that's just kind of polished. That's icing on the cake. The real thing is the connections and the people, right?
Right. Yeah, it's all about building community, and I don't have the exact words for this, but I've heard it so many times I can't even remember who said it first or who said it most often. But we get caught up a lot in this thing, and this thing is so amazing because we can stay connected with people thousands and tens of thousands miles away, and I can connect with anyone, anytime, anywhere, any place. But there's still more that I need, and I need more than just some text on a screen. I need people around me, and I get that we can socialize and that we can get a lot done with our phones and technology, but in the end, I need face-to-face communications. And the church, we talk about, it shouldn't be just in the building, it shouldn't be on Sunday mornings. That's kind of like our headquarters, but we go out from there and we find community wherever we can. And so that's where this comes in. But yeah, it's all about, going out of the 4 walls and finding community. And, we're not saying that, or at least I'm not saying that this replaces everything and let's just have a Facebook group. And yes, right. I love it. Now I don't have to go to church, right. But it's a way to reach beyond that and go into the week and communicate people where their attention already is.
Yeah. And I think that's again, one of the key principles is being where the people are. Jesus didn't tell us, in the Great Commission to, like you said, build 4 walls. He didn't tell us to go stand on the steps of the church and say, "Come sinners, come inside here." What he did was said, "Go into the world and make disciples." And
and that includes going places where you may not feel.
That's exactly right.
Totally 100% at home.
That's right. That's exactly right. Jesus, the story of Zacchaeus is key, very much key, between that and the Good Samaritan, because the Samaritans were the dogs of humanity as far as the people of those times considered them. The tax collectors were a little bit beneath that, because most of the tax collectors were cheaters. They were thieves. They would charge you 25% taxes, but you only had to really pay 16%, and he'd keep all the rest. They would cheat people, and they loathed them. So what did Jesus do? He said, "Hey, dude, come on out of the tree. I'm going over to your house for dinner." Right in front of everybody. I'm going to eat with the thief. That's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable for a lot of people. That means that, if you go into a bar and grill and there's some guy at the bar that is, looks like he needs Christ, and you go strike up a conversation with him, it may not be comfortable. The guy may be all tatted up, or whatever you determine is, unfit for society or whatever. Guy is no different than you when it comes down to the need for salvation, right? And it's the same thing with online. I can point to a pastor in the DFW area that just refuses to be on Facebook. And I don't understand that, because his heart is 100% for ministry and for reaching people, but he just doesn't kind of make the connection yet, and I want to encourage pastors, and I want to encourage ministers and youth directors and all that. Guys, you need to be where the people are. And Facebook right now, I mean, what'd you say? Almost a quarter of the Earth's population?
Yep.
I mean, stop and think about that for a second. If it were a quarter of the U.S.'s population, 350 million people, that'd be 70 million people.
It's actually way more than that. The last thing I read, I believe, was 68% of America.
Yeah.
And 75% of Americans online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's big.
That's huge. That's huge. And there's all kinds of good. There's all kinds of bad. There's all kinds of, it's no different than any other place in the world physically, with the exception of, no one's going to punch you in the face, walking down an alley on Facebook, they're going to yell at you or talk bad about you. That's about it. But,
so I got the number slightly wrong. It's 58% of America. So what is that? Almost 6 out of every 10 Americans.
Yeah.
Just Americans. And then 80% of Americans online. So if 5 people who are online who have internet capability, 4 of them are on Facebook. And I think you would say that's most of your congregation. So
that would be like saying
that's where the people are.
That would be like back in the 60s and 70s, saying, no, we're not going to take our sermons and do a radio broadcast with that. No, I understand that everybody's got a radio in their car and everybody's got a radio at home and everybody has a radio going on and stuff like that. And we are not by any means going to partake in that. We are not going to broadcast the gospel. I mean, can you imagine if Billy Graham said that?
That's a really good way to put it. I'm glad you said that. That's better than anything I could say. I think that's all I got. I think we can close it there.
There you go.
So that interview is very enlightening, and it probably is going to warrant a second listen because, Nona also addresses, group versus page. And I think now that a lot of churches have gotten to, and I've had a couple conversations where they're comfortable doing a page because that's my place. Like I control it, even though we're on Facebook and I'm uncomfortable with Facebook, or, Facebook is mentioned in so many divorce cases, but I'm comfortable having a page because we control that and people come to us. It's more of the same where we own or we, rent a piece of land and people can come to that. Whereas a group, you're giving that control away because people can post and everyone's going to see it. And that's a little scary sometimes, which is why, we're just starting with a church Facebook group that is for verified on-roll members because we're branching out into that area. But, the ultimate goal is to have a Mommies of Edinburgh group. Our goal is to have, a Movie Lovers of Edinburgh group or something like that, community groups that Nona talks about where, it's sponsored by your church and, it's communicated through your church, but it may not be for just churchy things. It may just be to build community. And we've talked about that a lot with podcasting and other things. And Facebook groups is just another way to do it and have fun doing it, because also doesn't have to be a pastor. If you have someone that loves baseball in your town, have them make a local baseball Facebook group and it's part of your church. It's done through your church. And so you can figure out what people want in your community, and then your church can do that, like, hey, I miss my old softball league. There's no softball league in town. Well, church, it's time to start a softball league and you can use your field in the back, so there's so much more that we can do than even just church membership groups. And I think that's where you start, but that's absolutely not the end. The end goal is community.
Right. And that dovetails into some stuff that we've said in the past, that your church, we're in a post-church age, a post-Christianity age, where it's an afterthought now a lot. But the church used to be the center of the community, that the church was always involved one way or the other. And that's how you can start doing that again. We were talking about, doing things like going out into the community and hosting breakfasts and interviewing shopkeepers and sharing that information with with the people in your church and with the people around, and becoming a resource and all. That's all part of it. Last night in our mastermind group, we were talking, and Tommy was talking about a food ministry that they have for people that are down on their luck, that are needing some help. Need a little extra to round out the month. One of the things I noticed he did not say was that only for church members. I didn't hear him say we're going to skip this house, but go to this one because they're members at the church. And it's the same thing with Facebook. It's the same thing with with groups and stuff. It's an outward facing, reaching into the community and just meeting people where they are. It's very missional, and it can be very missional on Facebook as well as in real life. So I want to encourage you guys to take notes, share this episode with the folks around you, share this episode with your friends, with other ministers, with Sunday school teachers, all that sort of stuff. Let's get some of this out of the box thinking going on out here. This free thought that Kanye West keeps talking about. Use it, do it. All right, so that's the end of our little bit here. Oh, I just lost you. Did you mute?
Oh yeah, I was muted. Okay, so it didn't matter. I was giving you the perfect transition, just a nice little softball down the middle.
Okay, so
I was like, oh, I love what you're talking about with the mastermind stuff. Tell me more about that.
Well, that's why I said it. That's why I said it.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
All right, so yes, about the mastermind. The mastermind is one of the many perks you get when you join Church Training Academy. When you become a CTA Insider, you not only get the training and the courses that we're doing and stuff, but every other week we get together with our members and we do kind of a mastermind live group coaching call. That is really cool. So basically, anybody can be in the hot seat. I'm having problems with this. I don't know how to do this. I was thinking about doing this. Has anyone else done it? That sort of stuff. And we all basically, as a little community of communicators and missional people, work together to solve whatever the problem is, to get past whatever the little roadblock is. And then we turn around and focus on somebody else. And, you know, we may have an evening where we've got 5 roadblocks from 5 different people, or maybe just be one person that's got several different things going on, and we all just focus our attention on it and attack it and help them come up with it, come up with a solution and break through it. So that is just one of the many perks you get when you join Church Training Academy. So if you are looking for a place that you can learn all this sort of stuff, you want to maximize your ministry, then you need to go to churchtrainingacademy.com/join and check out the information there. Right now, our prices are $27 a month. I don't know when you're watching this, but at the time of this recording is $27 a month. So by now, it's either gone up greatly, or it is, if it's like next week, then it's still $27 a month, but we are raising the prices very soon. So get in now while you can. churchtrainingacademy.com/join. Justin, thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for joining me today, and thanks for suffering through some of this junk. By the way, our frame rate is now up to like 24, so we're back to normal.
It got a whole lot better. So I don't know what happened.
I don't either, man.
Maybe reboot the night before. I have no idea.
Or Monday. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but I gotta do a little dig and see if I can figure it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Justin, again, thanks for hanging out, man. I love you, brother. I'm glad that we get to walk down this path together. And you guys take what you've learned and go out there and change some lives. Okay, dude, take off.
So, all right, see you guys. Thanks for watching. Comments were really barren today.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Or maybe
it was probably the visual. It was probably the fact that it was hard to look at and stuff. I don't blame folks.
Sure.
Anyway,
all right, see you guys.
All right, bye. Let's see here. I'm going to stop the recording of his thing here. Yeah, guys, I'm putting this together in a bunch of different pieces. Unfortunately, those of y'all that stuck around know that I had bad low frame rate issues. Let me get back to a full screen. Hello, there we are. Yeah, I had bad frame rate issues here, and it was just like, gosh, 6 frames per second is ridiculous. So if you did stay through on live, I really appreciate that. I actually may go and kill this one on live just because I don't want it to, to make it look like we don't know what we're doing. I'd rather our page and our videos and stuff be an example of our best work and our better work versus our cruddy work. Anyway, let me jump over to the chat room just to see if anybody is there. I have not been monitoring any of this. Let's see here. Let me close out of here and go back into this and say hey. Tommy is over on Facebook. Dave, you're going to have to do something about Justin. Oh, I know. Go back in. Let me go mute this and say mute that. Go to the post. Check out our comments. All right. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on. Mastermind's one of the greatest things you guys do for us. Hey, thanks, Tommy. We appreciate that, man. We really appreciate it. All right, guys. Love you all. Everybody have a fantastic week. I hope your weekend is good. I hope everything goes smooth as silk at church. And if it doesn't, I hope you figure out how to make it smoother and share it with us. Everybody go to churchmediahacks.com. Grab our Facebook group. Jump in there. Would love to hang out with you in there. Talk to you guys later.